Yeah, my name's Matthew. I'm 32. I've been living in Leicester. Well, I'm originally from Leicester, but I've lived in Glasgow for 11 years, and I'm just back. I'm actually writing a book about mental health, so that's kind of why today really appealed to me, to have a look around and see how it's expressed in like an art form. It means several things really. I mean, first off, I think in terms of its dictionary form, it means just trying to fight through the bad, I guess, really. So if something unexpected comes, something that's particularly not great, it's just trying to be able and mindful enough to get through it. But I think nowadays there are so many different factors that are trying to make things difficult for people. And I think it's probably taken on a little bit of a new meaning now. I think it's just getting through everyday life shows some kind of resilience now. Strength, again, it can be in many forms, but I think in terms of well-being and mental health, I think it's just persevering, really. I mean, I myself quite openly suffer with anxiety, and I've had mental health problems and things. And there have been times that I've been really low, so I think it's just about trying to get through the low times, really. And if you're able to do that, then you have some kind of strength in you. It's certainly not me, no. It's probably my father, really. He's had quite a lot of knocks in his life, and yet he still managed to get through. My mother was diagnosed with cancer last year, which obviously shows resilience for her because she got through that. But my father was kind of like the lean back figure on that for the whole family, and he kept everybody together. And then I think that really just showed like real resilience on his part, to be honest, yeah. From my parents, I guess, as I've kind of talked about there, but really it's just my own viewpoint on life. When I was at my lowest, I nearly committed suicide, and obviously that's not something that many people want to talk about, but at the same time it's kind of a watershed moment for me now. So I think it's seeing how low I was, speaking to people, a lot of friends, a lot of family who have had very, very similar issues, and then working my way through it. So I kind of get my strength through them because they've had really bad times as well. It's not just me, but when you're that low, you kind of think selfishly, I think, or certainly I did anyway. So I draw my strength from other people. Yeah, I think so. I mean, coming back to live in Leicester, it was a big thing. So me and my fiance split, just to add to everything else that was going on at the time. And for me to come back was kind of like a swallowing of my pride to a certain degree, because I never thought I'd be back here in Leicester. I always thought I'd be up north, and I was quite settled there. So to come back and kind of restart has actually made me realise how strong I am in certain aspects, because although I might suffer from the anxiety and the depression and blah blah blah, I'm still getting through it. And I think that's kind of how life is now. There are so many different factors from so many different places that it's just about getting through it, and I think if you do that, that's how you show your strength. In terms of being strong and whatnot, when I went through therapy, I went through CBT, so cognitive behavioural therapy. It changes how your mind thinks, I think, and I think that's probably the best way for me to actually look into things. I'm quite a logical thinker, so to have somebody explain to me, okay, this is maybe why you're feeling X, Y, or Z, it made me think, yeah, actually that makes sense. And I've never really been one for labels, but the fact that they actually did put a label on each kind of type of condition that I was going through really helped. So if I ever get an anxiety attack or something like that now, I know how to label it and I can kind of move through it. So that was probably the biggest thing for me personally, and I would recommend it to anybody. Yeah, 100%. I think without those attributes, which for so long I don't think I had, or certainly didn't appear to have, then you're going to struggle. I mean, if we're thinking about it from a physical perspective as well, so if I've got no strength or if I've got no resilience, even like doing something that I enjoy doing, like going for a run or something, I'm not going to be able to do that because that requires some amount of stamina or resilience. So it's connected to absolutely anything. I think probably the most important thing I would say about mental health now is obviously it's big on everybody's agenda because it's out in the press and all of that kind of thing. But people banding together and using their own strength and resilience together, I think is a really powerful thing. I think the more people come together and realise how important it is, the better we'll all be, yeah, to be fair. Oh, there could always be improvements. I think now we're living in an age where more people are aware of it, particularly through things like social media and things like that. And a lot of workplaces or employees have gotten onto it now because there's just so much pressure to hit targets, to be a certain way, yada yada yada. It's like the Instagram generation. We're all trying to be this perfect person, and it just doesn't work. But the more employers, the more people that band together and look into it, then the better we'll all be. Yeah. So good, but could be better. No, I didn't expect to be doing this interview, so this is all like, ooh, this is great. But no, I think from my own personal point of view, obviously I'm writing a book about mental health, and I've tried to do it so we're not preaching to people about it, but trying to educate people, and I think that's how it's going to be. I think we'll see it integrated into things like schools, about well-being. I think that would be fantastic. And a lot of people called it like snowflake syndrome and all this kind of thing. It's not like that at all. I think anybody that goes through a mental procedure is basically just going through their rite of passage of being a human being. So the more that we can educate from an early age, the better people will hopefully be.